The Taximan Story by Catherine Lim. Catherine Lim was born on 21st March 1942. She is a Singaporean fiction author known for writing about Singapore society and of themes of traditional Chinese culture. She has published 9 collections of short stories, 5 novels, 2 poetry collections, and numerous political commentaries to date. Her first short story collection, called Little Ironies Stories of Singapore, was published in 1978. A succeeding collection, or else The Lightning God and Other Stories, was published in 1980. Her first novel, The Serpent's Tooth, was published in 1982. Her other works include The Bone Maid, published in 1955, following The Wrong God Home, published in 2001. Major theme in her stories is the role of women in traditional Chinese society and culture. Characters. The Taximan. Taximan is the protagonist, hardworking father of 8. He is concerned of what's happening to the new generation, and he is mature, industrious, courageous, and kind. Madam. She is a teacher, and she is listening to his story. Lei Chu. Lei Chu is the daughter of taxi driver. She is first portrayed as good and excellent. The story is narrated in the point of view of the taximan, and setting is the road in Singapore. Plot. The story begins when the taximan had his passenger who was rushing for her meeting, whom he called Madam. He drove their way to somewhere they can get in a half hour due to the traffic. He told her that he had been driving for almost 20 years and shared a thought that the city, Singapore, was very crowded unlike before. Success for him is a matter of striving hard because he didn't get a chance to get an education nor have any capital for business, so he could have to go work hard to earn and feed his family of 8 and his wife. He got a big family because there are no such things like family planning before during his time, which is now implemented today in their city by their government. But then he was lucky because all of his children are already grown ups. 4 of his sons are working, one businessman, 2 clerks, one a teacher of a primary school, one working in a national service, and the other one is still on her second year in her secondary level. His eldest daughter, who is now on her 20s, is still at their home helping her mother. She's not yet married because she's a shy type kind of a person and she had a bad health condition, but despite of that, she is a good and obedient woman. Opposite of his elder daughter is her younger sister who isn't good enough and go against her parents. He tells that long time ago he was being punished by his parents by a cane whenever he disobeyed them even though he was big enough to get married. He said also that his father was very strict, but if not, he might become useless like the other girls and boys, which is now currently happening in their city. When he finds out that his passenger was a teacher, he told her that those schoolgirls, who were about 15 to 16-year-old, go to school in morning in their uniforms, and instead of going home, they proceed to a public lavatory or hotel and change their clothes, which they have in their school bag, and put makeup on their face. In addition to that, that was out of their parents' mind, then tell them that they have a school meeting or like, but actually not. The taximan tells about the tricks and dirty secrets that these girls are doing so, like earning a big amount of money from those foreigners, and that's where also he get big extra income. Like when last night a young girl who was very dolled up and wearing dresses and told him to take her to the Orchid Mansions. He was shocked into finding out that she had purse full of American notes and handed him $10 without even asking for a change. He further added that he usually wait outside the Elroy Hotel, Tongue Court, or Orchid Mansions and almost make nearly $150 just for one day. Some of it came from extra services. He then suddenly shared about and described her daughter named Lei Chu as a good girl and striving hard for her studies. She always got a good compliment from her teachers on her report card. She was his favorite daughter. asked her what she wants after she left school, and she answered him that she wanted to go to a university. None of his children could go to a university, unlike Lechu, who is smart and very helpful on her mother, even though she is sometimes a little lazy that her teacher advises her to do extra work at her weak subject, which is math. So then he let her go back again at her school. One day, as he was driving, he saw a girl that looked familiar to him. She was all dolled up with other girls and some Europeans outside a coffee house. He didn't think that it was Leichu because she was in her school and that girl was dressed up with makeup on and she was bold in her behavior. He then suspects her daughter and then they find her out the next day, confirming that it was really her. He suddenly outraged, going to her, slapped, then dragged her to his taxi and went home. When they arrived at their house, he trashed the food and beat her so bad that his wife and his neighbors are pulling him away. He decided to lock his daughter at her room for 3 days and lied to his daughter's teacher that she is sick so that she will be excused. Not long after that incident, things are going on well according to what they want from them. They made a rule that she cannot leave the house but only by going to school. He told also his wife that she shall check her every now and then to whatever that she do and also her friends what sort of people are they. Themes. So the themes in Taximan's story include genuine love, trust, modernity, courage and perseverance, attitudes of students towards parents, loyalty for family, honesty, conflict between tradition and modernity, teenage prostitution.